com. Saturday, July the 9th, 2022. Of course, it's our live show. We're live 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Going to be some interesting shows coming up. We haven't had a lot of shows recently where there's been no games at all, but we do have a few coming up for the All-Star break, and it'll be fun to talk about some other things. I have a few other video ideas I have in mind, too. I'm going to shoot out an email to these guys and see if they're going to join me. If not, you guys know I just go solo during those things, but I'm sure these guys will be into it. Do some NFL previews and figure maybe do it discussion style, give these guys a chance to do some preparation on these and just talk about the stuff that we really care about, not betting 2% of your bankroll or something stupid like that. Anyways, I kind of usually use these first couple of minutes of the show to kind of go around the horn here and talk to everybody about what's going on. I'll go first today, and we were talking behind the scenes. Elon Musk, dropping his bid for Twitter. Not something we normally talk about on these shows. We always usually keep it to sports. But this one, I think, kind of does touch on sports betting. It's because of all the scam artists and fake accounts. And that's beautiful that he has exposed Twitter for what it is. I hate Twitter. I'm on there. Betting Badass is my Twitter. I don't tweet all that often. We have a Pick Dogs Twitter. We have a Sports Chat Twitter. We do not concentrate or put one dime into it. We basically try and keep them active. Once in a while, I'll shoot a tweet. And in fact, this show is probably out on Twitter on one of the channels. I don't even know which one it's on. But it just shows you what a piece of garbage this company is, supporting these trolls, frauds, fakes, scumbags, liars. Anyone could go in there, buy all these fake followers, look like they have this massive following. I see people in our industry, other sites, right, that have these giant followings, right, on Twitter, and then they do these posts and have zero engagement, right? So it's like, if you have that many, you would think you would have at least a little bit of engagement. Like one person commenting on this post, right? Or 3 likes or something. We're talking 2 likes on a post with like 100,000 plus followers on some of these accounts. It's just a fake dog and pony show. I do not understand how anyone thinks they could possibly make any money selling things to fake people. And why they think that that's a viable business. And then, of course, we always hear from the cappers out there, I don't get any recognition. I don't get any recognition. Because you won't show your face or show who you are. You don't deserve any. You are not accountable. And it's like, we're far from perfect. I'm not even close. I mean, I say things that I should never say. I say things that sometimes I wish I could take back. I say some things, and if I truly am sorry, we'll say I'm sorry for it. But one thing no one will ever say about me is that I am fake, or there's anything fake about me, or that I'm afraid of being transparent of who I am. I've used my real name, my real picture, my real everything online since day one. 14 years. I stick it out there. I've gotten phone calls, from people that somehow get a hold of my phone number. They won't even say their phone number, whatever. It's like, you should hear that. You should hear the crap that I get, And it's like, I don't care. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of any of you. But I'll tell you what, good luck on Twitter, boys. It's all over but the crying. You've been exposed. Ruffalo? Anyway, speaking of being exposed, something we don't want to see, who's been exposed recently? A lot of teams in baseball. Who do you think's heading into the All-Star break? We are past the halfway point of the season. Who's been exposed out there?
I think in this series especially, and I know you kind of touched on it earlier, the Boston Red Sox. You're just seeing that this team does have some talent. You got some talented position players, but the lack of a starting rotation is really starting to do this team in. And I hate to say it, but maybe the Toronto Blue Jays as well. Starting to see that this is a team that needs to bolster their starting rotation as well, fix the issues in the bullpen. The talent, the upside that you have offensively can only get you so far before you really got to execute on the mound, and that's been an issue for both of those teams.
Brian, Philadelphia Phillies now 3rd in the National League wild card. If the season ended, they're in. I've spent a lot of time bashing this team, but I got to give some credit where credit is due. They own the Cardinals, right? And that has really helped. It has really helped them a lot, and it's really hurt the Cardinals. What do you think? The Phillies, you think they make a move here again, trying to get across the finish line?
Well, supposedly they're all in this season, so I assume they're going to trade some of their prospects, which they don't have a lot of. But I think they're going to make a move. I'm surprised they're doing this well without Bryce Harper's bat in the lineup. But I know you're no Harper fan, but this Phillies team, I think they make it into the wild card. They just really need some pitching depth, and hopefully they pick it up at the trade deadline.
So someone in our comments seems to think that there is a Twitter person that doesn't play games unless they're using a real name with a real picture. They're a joke. And, it's like, then they're pathetic. We have zero respect for them, okay? And we'll continue to bash all Twitter handicappers. They don't deserve recognition. They're a bunch of cowards hiding behind fake names, fake profiles, and too lazy to build a property of their own, right? Trying to do it as cheaply and as easy and as quickly as possible, trying to make the quick exit with your money. Run, don't hide. Run, don't walk. Right?
I've seen people hide on Twitter.
Well, Rod, I was going to ask you. I was going to come back and ask you about Twitter handicappers, fakes, phonies, all that other stuff, because I know of all of us here at Pick Dogs, you've been the most immersed in social media, Facebook, Twitter, of all of us, and we're none of us here. It's not saying like that you're an expert or because none of us have really done anything with it. But I'm just saying that you're more familiar with a lot of these guys that are out there than we are.
You see them, they pop up. I seen NBA playoffs was here's for an example. This guy went from like nothing to thousands of followers because they have what they call these retweet trains. So they go from 0 to 5,000 subscribers in like nothing. And it's like this guy said, he goes, if the Boston Celtics win this game, guaranteed lock of the century, I'll give it. Or if the Celtics don't win this, it's the lock of the century. I'll pay everybody $100 that likes and retweets this. Well, holy man, that thing went absolutely bananas, and then the Celtics lost. And this guy disappeared. All of a sudden, the Twitter is his whole page. Just all of a sudden, whoop, this Twitter hat.
It's that easy. It's that easy. I do believe that people say things that they don't that they regret. People do things that they regret. Over time, you can prove that you've fixed these things. That this isn't the person you are today. All those different things. I'm all about that. But when you're a phony baloney hiding behind this thing and acting like you're Hercules or something, I got this joker, Ernesto Locks, who's got people spamming our groups. I mean, what a joke this guy is, What a joke. It's like, if you spam other groups with my stuff, I'll give you my stuff for free. And you look at like the stuff he sends out, he never, ever loses. Never loses a game, It's like,
right?
It's like no chance.
The little green check marks, right? You just put them little green check marks beside everything, say you're the big winner, and you're like, look, I went 8-2 today, every day. It's like, what?
Twitter to me, says Twitter to me says, you're lazy, you're lazy and you don't get it, and it's like you're refused to be accountable, It's just, that's really what it all is. And those people that send money to those people or follow those people and believe in those people, well, you get what you get. Speaking of getting what you get, Al Nino's wearing the Led Zeppelin shirt today. He's maybe trying to suck up a little bit here. He knows I've got the same shirt. Love that one.
This is like the greatest shirt in rock and roll, man. I actually saw someone at the poker room walking in with the same shirt last night. Yeah,
I have two of them. I got two.
Yeah, I got two. And actually an old one that's all ripped up from high school. But yeah, that one I think I can't actually find anymore. So I don't know what happened to that one.
I thought Al was gonna say he bet the guy on the poker table for his shirt and took it.
But anyways,
I wanted to bet Ron his Pig Dogs hat when I saw him at the Hard Rock the other day.
Well, we can get you a Pick Dogs hat, no problem. All you gotta do is. I think what happened is the guy that sends the stuff out had a problem with your email. Did you get the email from him? Because we're doing our own customer service here on the air, but that he sent an email to you and me saying that something happened with the communication.
Yeah, I think he was double checking my address or something.
Yeah.
Physical address.
So
Not,
we'll get you a Pick Dogs hat, no problem.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Thanks, Mitch.
Clayton Kershaw making his way back to the hill today. Battle of lefties in LA. And, the Dodgers not playing their best baseball, but, man, 7 games in the loss column separating them and the Padres. You got to feel pretty good about things.
Yeah, well, Dodgers have been playing pretty well lately, and Padres falling off a little bit, but still got to be careful. They're a good team, and Tatis is supposed to be coming back. He haven't really followed lately, but I did check a week ago or so, and he was supposed to be coming back. So it'll be tougher once he gets back, but yeah, it's nice to have a few games of insurance. But yeah, I'm not too worried about the Dodgers' position or making the playoffs or anything like that. I'm more worried about what they do once they get to the playoffs. So that's what I'm more concerned with.
Groovy Cap's putting his record in the chat here, 24-9, which is all fine and well, but you got to tell us what the odds were on those 9, because you could easily be 24-9 in negative money in baseball. Overall record in baseball means nothing, only units. That's for sure, man. You could be 24-9 and be down a lot of money in baseball. Anyway, speaking of baseball, Jovan, how's it going?
It's going well.
You a Twitterer or you're not a Twitterer? It's like I don't think you're not as social
No.
as the rest of us.
Nah, so I just created an account maybe a month ago.
A real account or a fake name?
Yeah, I don't do the fake.
Bovan Jerts. You think anyone will recognize it's me?
Nah, it's what is my handle? Get Money Jovi. So, but yeah, I don't. Twitter just seems, for me, it seems like a weird place, So, in general, it's like, I don't know. It's kind of like the Wild West. To tell you the truth, anything goes. You know what I mean?
Well,
in all
when you have an environment where only certain accounts are actually verified, right? So, in order to have a Twitter account, and here's the solution, right? And it's a very, very easy solution, because we see it with Cash App. And we see it with all these other places that are fairly large operations, right? And they kind of happen pretty quickly. Is you have to send in information to verify your identity to have that account, And this way you are accountable for who you are. And I'm not saying every account out there is fake, every handicapper is fake. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, if you're not fake, well, then get off your ass and build a website or do something. Have your own platform, because when they pull the plug on that Twitter, you're going to have nothing. And because trust me, your bank's not going to grant you a loan or whatever you need to start your business when you say, well, I used to have 45,000 Twitter followers. Trust me, American Express isn't going to care about that, But I think that, I don't understand it. So I'll criticize it. And that's really the way that it's going to work. It's like, I don't understand, because it doesn't make any sense, right?
With Twitter as well, it also, it's like anything. You don't always get, we got 125 people watching and we only got 25 thumbs up. Not everybody hits the thumbs up. What they do is Twitter has, you can see there's analytics behind Twitter of people that actually follow your stuff, that don't hit the like button, don't hit the share button, don't hit the retweet button. And there's actually a button on there on your tweets. You can go have a look. It'll tell you, it'll give you the analytics of how many people are actually following you.
But when you look at,
you can't always verify.
But what does that mean? What does it mean? That they followed it, does it mean it showed up in their feed and they scrolled past it? How much? I think it, like on Facebook.
It actually gives you it'll actually give you someone's impression. So that means it asks someone, if someone takes so much time, it'll come over here and say, hey, someone actually read this. Like someone actually read the tweet.
No, because like on Facebook, when it says a view on Facebook, that's 3 seconds that it stood on their page.
Oh, okay, so then I'm not sure what
on Twitter, we could find out what this number is. I happen to be part of like this big social media community, not because I'm social and not because people want me in the community. I guess these people do. I don't know. Maybe they're not as smart as the Twitter fake handicappers. But I could find out exactly how long it has to be and exactly how that works. And we'll get those numbers and we'll find out exactly how that all works. But I do believe that Elon Musk, I don't believe that he ever actually really wanted to buy Twitter. I just think he really wanted to expose them. And as we see by their stock price and as their employees are being terminated, the massive layoffs that will be hitting Twitter, to follow. Maybe the whole thing, I don't think I'm never about eliminating information or not giving people chances or any of those things. I'm not against any of those things. I'm 100% though in belief that there has to be accountability. And I know on Twitter, if you call someone a jerk or whatever, words, stronger words than that, that's against policy. But if someone threatens to kill you, that's okay. Or calls you out or spreads fake stuff or defames your character, or any of those things. That's all of that is okay. But you call someone a bitch, you're out of there. It's like, it doesn't make any sense at all. Anyways, let's get to talk to some sports finally. I'm just excited about it because you guys know I hate Twitter. I think it's a joke. It is a joke. And that's why you don't see us put much into it at all. Anyways, Brian, sorry for bad mouthing your Twitter account. I know you love to tweet.
Yeah. I
I think the initial concept.
I don't like Twitter.
I think the overall concept is really good. On that side, I think the concept of Twitter is really good. I think the lack of accountability and the ease of opening accounts. Same thing with YouTube accounts. Same thing. But see, YouTube will let you open accounts. Is the way that YouTube does it is they let you open accounts. You can open up as many as you want, and you can use as many different fake names as you want. But when it comes to being monetized, when it comes to being able to have certain functionality in it to become a YouTube whatever, well then all bets are off because they have a very strict policy. And trust me, I have a phone number to call them, because anyways. Let's get to it. We got the White Sox. I hate their guts against the Detroit Tigers. I hate your guts, White Sox.
Why don't you get fired, La Russa? Jesus.
Believe me, I'm going to fire myself as a White Sox fan. We've got the Cardinals against the Phillies, and we've got the Texas Rangers, Martin Perez with the A-team here against the Devin Smeltzer-led Twinkies. Chris Ruffalo, what do you think?
My favorite free play out of these three. I like the under 8.5 between the White Sox and Tigers. I think Johnny Cueto delivers a solid outing here, but the White Sox may have some issues with Garrett Hill, who delivered a strong 6 innings in his debut. I think it's just going to be a bit of a pitcher's duel. I think it's 1 to 3 wins. So give me the under 8.5, Tigers White Sox.
Brian, we go to you.
I like a lot of games in this segment here, but I'm going to agree a lot with Chris. I see this White Sox-Tigers game as a 3-2 type of game. I think both these pitchers are going to go 6, but I think it's a one-run game here. The White Sox, one of the worst teams on the run line at home, 12-30. Tigers on the road, 22-15 on the run line. I just think the Tigers keep it within 1, and I'm going to take that plus 1.5.
Rod's wacky.
And we're going to go the other way. Johnny Cueto at home has been awful this season. He's got a 4.97 ERA and a 5.03 FIP. He's been awful at home this season. I think he gives up 5-6 runs himself. So I'm going to take the over.
That's first ballot Hall of Famer Johnny Cueto to you.
Yeah, right. He's been awful at home. And the Tigers 5-0-1 in their last 6 for game 3 of the series. And you look at the White Sox, same thing. They're 9-2-1 to that over in game 3 of the series. I think we get runs in this one, enough to get over the total. Give me the over White Sox and Detroit. And the other one I like, give me Texas. Yes, runs in the first inning. Yurfee down on a nice streak. They've got 7 straight versus the AL Central runs in the first inning. So I think we get a run first inning. Texas.
Al Niños.
Yeah, I was disappointed by the Twins last night. Probably a tougher pitching matchup today, but I still think they have the better lineup. Of course, talked about Corey Seager last week and came back to bite me yesterday. But again, I still think Minnesota has the better lineup here, and Smeltzer hasn't been too bad, so I think he definitely keeps him in this game and limits Texas offense and and the Twins get the job done here. So I'll take my shot with the Twins, little plus money.
Jovan.
Yeah, I'm on the Tigers. I'm just gonna ride this winning streak. Currently on a 6-game winning streak, playing a Chicago team who's lost 4 out of their last 5 games. Pitching matchup. Johnny Cueto, he has the pedigree, he has the experience, but I just think that in situations like this, when you have a poor team who's playing some of the best baseball of the season, got to take a look on them, especially with at plus money the way it is. So I'm on the Tigers in this one.
All right. I really hate the White Sox right now. I just hate their guts. I just don't understand how they're 8 games under 500 at home, and losing to the Tigers last night in a game that, they're dominated early. Dominated. And then once the Tigers started hitting, it was just like they had no answers whatsoever. It was just pathetic to watch. Hate them.
Those games you can't lose at home if you're the White Sox. You can't lose them.
You can't afford to lose those games at home. And it's like they're lucky they're still in the race, but it's like if that's what's keeping La Russa as manager, then maybe they're not so lucky. They are 82 games into the season, so they are more than halfway home at this point. So it's time to start winning these home games. You got to win them. Hate them. And
hey, maybe it's a team like this that needs a Joe Madden.
Didn't help us anyways. That's for damn sure.
Maybe it'll help these guys.
Maybe it'll help them. It's like it did not help us. Anyways, got the Orioles taking on the Angels. We've got the A's taking on the Astros and the Reds taking on the Rays. Chris Ruffalo, what do you got to say?
It was good. To go with the over 9.5 Rays and Reds. Hunter Green just continues to struggle, especially with the long ball. He's given up 21 home runs this season. Now the Rays not necessarily a power hitting team, but I think that there's enough here off of Hunter Green in that bandbox of Great American Ballpark to get us over with it, especially with the Rays and the Reds. Well, they can get to Drew Rasmussen, who hasn't been sharp on the road this season. I think that one finishes around 11 runs, if not more. So give me the over Rays and Reds.
Brian?
Yeah, I'm just can't get over these Baltimore Orioles. They're actually only, I think, about 4 games behind the Blue Jays for the final wild card spot. It wouldn't shock me if they ended up the season maybe sneaking in there. But as far as this lineup of games go, I like Baltimore here. Dean Kramer has really good stuff. 2.48 ERA, and Baltimore just coming back last night, showing their heart. I think they do it again today. You don't even have to play any juice to play them, so I'm on the Orioles.
Rod?
Yeah, for me, after good, give me the Orioles here. Rolling right along. Came out on the drive-through. Thought they were dead. Came back at the bottom of the ninth and walked it off and got a nice win there. Keep their streak going. So they won 6 straight. Let's make it 7. I'll take the Orioles here on the money line over the Angels. Like that one. Even with Trout coming back, Trout came back and got the Angels up 3, and they blew it again in the bullpen. Normal for the Angels. I have to agree with Chris. Give me the over in the Rays and Reds. We only seen 3 runs yesterday. I think we see a whole pile. It opened at 9. It's up to 9.5. It's up to 9.5 for a reason. I think we easily get to double digits in that one. Give me the over, Rays, Reds. And I'm going to take the under in the Astros in Oakland. Framber Valdez, 4-0 to the under his last 4 starts versus the AL West. So I think we got a nice pitcher's duel on our hand in this one. Give me the under 8.5, Houston, Oakland. And that money's been pretty, that bet's been pretty solid all season. No reason to get off that here. Give me the under, Houston, Oakland.
Al Ninos, I think the odds makers had you in mind when they did this A's Astros. They're like, well, they got the weekend show. Al Ninos is going to be on. Got to give him something to talk about here. We didn't like him this spot.
Somebody else I was playing poker with finally made his first MLB bet of the season, going against the A's, and so he's 1-0 now. I told him I'd put in a good word for him, so congrats to him. And but yeah, it's very, very pricey here today. I mean, obviously they had a better price against Blackburn yesterday, but yeah, Valdez versus Zach Lowe here. I don't know. It's getting pricey. I guess you could take a -2.5. They should blow them out, but I'd rather look at the Rays here to get their payback against Hunter Green. Again, just disappointing showing from their offense last night, but I think they get going against Green tonight, so I'll take the Rays -1 here.
Jovan?
Yeah, so I'm on Tampa Bay. You know, Hunter Green, the Hunter Green experience, trial by fire, however you want to call it. He's been getting burnt all season, especially his last 5 games. The Cincinnati Reds have lost his last 5 starts. He has a 9.42 ERA in his last 3 starts, 0-3, and yeah, I think going up against Drew Rasmussen with his 2.81 ERA in his last 3, I think it's gonna be, a lot to a little. I think he gives up a couple home runs. Green does, and I think Tampa Bay rolls.
I think Tampa Bay bounces back also. I was surprised that they just were not able to do anything at all. But we've seen the Rays lose game 1 of a series over and over again this season and then bounce back the next 2. And normally after losing that first game, tons of value on them as well. So I like the Rays in this one also. We go to our next set. Well, actually, you know what? Chris, what are you selling today?
For me, I got my $15 pickoff play. Orioles got us all the way last night, but today, bounce back with my $15 play, and that $15 play also part of my Saturday Slam 5-pack, my 5 best bets on the board. Don't do 5-packs often, but I love today's card. Got that for $50 over at Pick Dogs Premium, and use that code July 14th for 14% off.
I thought Ruflo was going to show us his 6-pack. A couple short.
He's got a 16. He's got a 16-pack.
Couple short of a keg. Brian, what do you got today?
For me, off a very rare 3-0 Friday, which almost never happens. 18-8 runs 69%. You can get 3 days for just $69, or my top play today, my titanium play, just $15 at pickdogs.com.
Rod?
And for me, bounce back day. A tough day for me on a Friday. Usually one of my better days. So not so good. So we'll bounce back today. Got my $15 bookie buster over at Pick Dogs Premium. You can scoop that up, or that's part of my 3-pack, my Satisfaction Saturday Triple. You can scoop that up. That's included. My bookie buster is included in the Satisfaction Saturday Triple. 3 plays I absolutely love. Jump on over, scoop them up. Let's have a big Saturday.
El Ninos?
Yeah, I got my $15 best bet, which has been the one thing that's been going well. My other plays haven't been too good, unfortunately. But that one's been coming in, and I do have a 3-pack looking to turn things around there in the MLB. And, of course, an extra bet for everyone on the long-term passes.
Jovan?
Yeah, I have 3 plays today for my Saturday shootout series, led by the Laser Show, which has been hitting. So, continue to try to, keep winning with that. Went 2-1 yesterday, but my feature play didn't get there. So, hopefully today the feature play does, which is the Laser Show, which wasn't my feature play yesterday. It should have been. So.
I've got my $15 big play. I'm still putting in a couple plays, trying to squeeze them in here before 11 o'clock, normally our cutoff time for getting picks in. So I'm kind of using the...
Saturday it's 9, Mitch. You're past the deadline.
I'm past the deadline. I just had a lot going on today, so trying to put it together. But, yeah, I tell you, I've been overwhelmed with everything as we, as I prepare everything for football season and, just the day-to-day operations. Things just getting bigger and bigger every day over here. So trying to get my arms around it. Obviously, I'm not a great manager. It's not my thing, I think coming on the air and acting like an idiot, I think is more my thing. But, I work at the other part and try and keep it all together, and sometimes juggling those pieces around, just not always the easiest thing to do. Not making excuses, just telling you guys exactly what's going on. Always transparent, and of course, no questions ever off limits here. So if you guys ever have any questions, let me know. Just fire them away in the thing. Of course, if they're pick questions, then you need to be a premium member or higher for us to go over those. But if they're just regular generic questions about what are you guys doing for football season or, you know, anything like that, throw them out there. You guys know me. I'm an open book. I don't care. I don't hide behind, oh, well, I can't say. You know, it's like, oh, I can say. I do say. Anyways, you got the, sometimes I say too much. Got the Diamondbacks against the Rockies. Oof. Got the Royals against the Guardians. And then Brandon Woodruff back for the Brewers against the Pirates. The Brewers, I'll tell you, not playing great baseball, but still, because the Cardinals are playing so bad, still being able to put some distance between them and the Cards. Ruffalo, what are you thinking about these three?
I think the one that I like the best out of these three is the Pirates plus 1.5. It's like I said, the Brewers aren't necessarily playing their best, but you know, like you said, it's when they are, it's still effective. And I think the Pittsburgh Pirates with Zach Thompson here are going to be able to battle the Brewers hard here. I know it was sort of bailed out on the run line yesterday in the 9th inning, but I think this is just a pitcher's duel. I think it's a one-run game all day. I think it's 3-2, whichever way you have it going. So give me Pittsburgh plus 1.5 in this one.
Brian?
Yeah, for me in this grouping, I'm going to agree here with Ruffalo. The run line on the Milwaukee Brewers is only minus 120, and the regular line is at minus 285. I just think this is going to be a one-run game. The Pirates, just one of my teams, not as good as the Orioles, of course, but Zach Thompson, I remember him fondly from his Marlins days. I think he'll give the Pirates 4 or 5 innings, give up 2 or 3 runs. I think they can stay in it.
Rod?
And for me in that one, I like the over. I think we see some runs between the Brewers and the Pirates. You look, Thompson 4-0 to the over his last 4 road starts. And Brewers 4-0 to the over their last 4 on Saturday. 4-0 to the over their last 4 in game 2 of a series. So we didn't get over yesterday. I think we get over today. Give me the over Pirates. Brewers, I think we get enough runs to get over the 7.5. I think we get 8-9 runs in that one. Give me the over.
Al Ninos.
Yeah, this is probably one that'll be on the parlay at the end of the show, but I like the Guardians a lot in this slot. I think McKenzie's been pretty good, and so definitely got the edge on the mound there, and I still think they got the better lineup also. So decent price here on the Guardians. I'll take them on the money line.
Jovan?
Yeah, I'm on the Colorado Arizona over. You know, Colorado they smack lefties around pretty good basically for the whole season. And you know, I expect Kyle Freeland to give up his fair share of runs against his Diamondbacks on batting order. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think this hits double-digit totals. I mean, double-digit run totals. So over the 9.
I think when you have, you know, Heasley and McKenzie, you know, you got certain problems there in Kansas City. I think the thing also, Arizona and Colorado doesn't win on the road much, but when they do, they seem to string it together in bunches, and they're kind of doing that now. And the Diamondbacks kind of showing that they don't really have the bats to get involved in these type of games where it's coming right down to the end of the game. They don't have, you know, you need to have the guys that can kind of come through in the crunch, you know, and the Diamondbacks just missing that element. And of course, Mark Melancon still with the varsity, not helping matters either. We go to our next set of games. We got the Braves against the Nationals, the Mets against the Marlins, and the Yankees and the Red Sox. Chris Ruffalo, what do you think?
I'm gonna go with the New York Yankees here. We alluded to it earlier, just how, you know, Boston. You know, the starting rotation, you know, you can have all the talent you want, but the starting rotation's got to be able to play their part. And Cutter Crawford, not a guy I'm anticipating holding down this Yankee offense. Jordan Montgomery, for me, has always been a guy that's been either wildly overpriced around minus 250 or maybe given some value, but maybe around minus 155, minus 160 is the right price. I think the Yankees get another win over the Red Sox here, so give me the Yankees.
Brian?
Yeah, I've been hurt by the Boston Red Sox in this series. I think I got the cover with the +1.5 the day before, but last night was at L. I think today I'm going to take the Boston Red Sox, even with Cutter Crawford on the mound. I think when he exits the game along with Jordan Montgomery around the 5th or 6th inning, I think this game's going to be tied. And how embarrassing would it be for the Red Sox to, sooner or later, I'm just expecting Boston to step up here and not get embarrassed at home. So I'm going to take the +1.5. It's only -110. I think it's a bargain.
Rod?
And for me in these ones, I'm going to take the over in the Yankees and the Red Sox. We've seen both the first 2 games of this series go over the total. It opened to 9.5. It's down to 9. I think we're going to have a pitcher's deal on our hand in this one today. I'm going to take the over. Give me the over 9 is where I see it now. You get a nice plus price. I think we easily get over double digits again in this one. Cutter Crawford's is hit or miss. He's either pitching good or he's pitching bad. So Montgomery, he'll give up a few as well. So give me the over 9 in that one. And I like the under in the Braves and the Nationals. Kyle Wright's been pitching pretty good at home. 6-2 on the season with a 3 ERA. His last 3 he's been pitching even better, 2-0 with even less than the 3 ERA. So I'm going to take the under 9.5 Braves Nationals in that one.
Ninos?
Yeah, Mets. Again, I think it's another bounce back spot here. Team coming off well, I wouldn't say too disappointing. They had a tough pitching matchup yesterday, but again, Carlos Carrasco, not an ace by any means, but I think they could get to Braxton Garrett here a little bit, so I'll take the Mets -1.
Thought I heard a dog.
Dogs are barking, Al.
Well, yes, I hear a dog.
Yeah, that hasn't been a good sign when taking favorites on the show. When we hear a dog bark, that's.
Well, when you look, the Mets are 22, and they're bounced back after a loss. They're to win the next time 22 times. So it's quite the streak going there for the Mets.
Yeah, they've been having a good season.
The Nationals and the Atlanta game, that's on this segment, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the over in this one. Just the fact that Corbin Burns is on the mound, even though he has pitched well lately, I think that changes today. And Kyle Wright, he hasn't really been looking on too hot, so I think this should go over the 9.5.
Sorry about that. Someone was at the door. Anyways, thanks guys for filling in for me there. Yeah.
I didn't even know you were gone.
Yeah, someone was at the door. It's like
The girl guy.
and it's like it was one of those things. I'm like, come back in 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and they keep going. It's like I gotta go. It's like. Anyways, I
It's
don't.
terrible when you got somebody pitching you a sales pitch. You got to just shut the door on them.
It's not even a sales pitch. It's like it's ridiculous. Anyways, I like the Yankees big in this one. I'd say late 3.5 or whatever. The Red Sox are done. They needed to win those first 2 games of this series. They needed to win all of the games of this series. They needed to sweep. And what they did is they just showed what they're doing is just showing that they don't have what it takes to compete. And that lack of a pitching staff, starting pitching and not having frontline starters, a 1 or 2 or a 3, is just being magnified with every single pitch of this series. You can't give up grand slams to Donaldson when you have 2 outs and you're getting out of the inning. You can't do that. You're better off walking him. If you're afraid of, whatever, you're way better off walking a guy like that than letting him take you deep to center field of all places in Fenway Park. It's like, it wasn't a cheap little grand slam or anything like that. It was a blast. And I think the Red Sox are done. I think that hit says we're done. And it's just a matter of where they finish, if they're even in the wild card at all, because as Brian was saying, the Orioles are coming on strong. I haven't taken the Yankees all season, and everyone knows that I don't think there's ever any value there. Oh, there's a ton of value there today. Just the Red Sox are done. They're done.
I'll say this about the Red Sox, and this was a fear that people were having coming into the series, was that this was going to be an epic shellacking, you know, by the Yankees. That was the fear, and it's coming to fruition. It's halfway there now. The Red Sox, they can salvage these 2 games, but it doesn't look likely with this pitcher matchup or the whoever the pitcher matchup is tomorrow. And I'm not going to say they're done because they do have Chris Sale coming back, Eovaldi coming back, and even James Paxton. But with that said, it's not looking good for the Red Sox right now at this moment.
Yeah, I think there's certain times where you just say, they're done, and I think this is it. I'm not a Jordan Montgomery guy. I don't think it has anything to do with Jordan Montgomery or the pitchers or anything like that. It's the Red Sox inability to find a starting pitcher. And this is a team that is not afraid to throw together a $180 million a year roster in the past either.
They could make a move by the All-Star break.
It isn't going to help. There's no move that they can make that can help. Chris Sale is coming back. Not going to help. You're done.
I like Brian Bello. I like
done.
I like some of their young arms.
Done.
Pavetta's not terrible.
Terrible. Done.
Yeah.
You're going to put Pavetta up against Stanton, Judge, and these guys? No chance. You have no chance.
Back in the Orioles down the stretch.
We'll find out tomorrow night. Pavetta's pitching tomorrow. You're going to see. They have no chance against this lineup. This is the team that you're going to have to beat. It's them or the Astros or the teams you have to beat. Because it's in baseball, winning is great and all that stuff, but in professional sports, you're playing to win it all. And it's like, you're not going to beat the Yankees. You're not going to beat the Astros. You're not going to beat either of those teams. You can add 5 players of your choice to your roster. You still aren't going to beat those teams unless you're taking Verlander from the Astros. That's your only chance. And maybe if you take Verlander and Altuve from the Astros, if you have your choice of 5 players, maybe that's your chance. But they are not going to beat either of those teams. They cannot beat either of those teams in a 7-game series. No chance. 0 chance. Chance never even entered the room. That game against Cole, that was the one. That was the one they should have set the tone. Instead, they gave up the grand slam. They had a chance at the end. Couldn't get it done then either.
No. That's not the first time we disagree.
Cutter Crawford to the rescue.
I think they bounce back today. They can't be embarrassed at home like this.
Cutter Crawford to the rescue.
Yes, they can.
Oh, yeah, they can.
Boston's winning today. Mark it down.
You've seen it.
Sealed and delivered.
Remember when the Yankees played the Red Sox in London? Those games that were like...
Total was 16.5.
Yeah, those were funny. It's like, let's play games at Wembley Stadium. It's like, yeah.
The first one they had it too low, and then the bookmaker was like, yeah, okay, ooh, we gotta move this way up.
They said like 12.5 or something. It finished at like 26.
Oh, man.
Should have given them tennis rackets, tennis balls with in those games.
Got the Padres and the Giants, the Mariners and the Blue Jays, the Dodgers and the Cubs. The Dodgers, I got to say, as good of a job as the Yankees are doing, I got to give credit to the Dodgers here. 7 games ahead of the Padres in the loss column, just putting them away and without anybody. No Bueller, no Bauer, no nothing, Still winning. Mookie Betts was out. It didn't matter. They lost Seager. It didn't matter. They lost, It's like they're doing something right there. Or they're really drawing an easy schedule, But Clayton Kershaw going today, minus 260.
That's in your wheelhouse.
Maybe I'll lay the -1. Chris Ruffalo, what do you think?
Yeah. I'm going to go with that under 7.5. Blue Jays, Mariners, Toronto. They need a positive performance after being really dismantled in the first couple games of this series, and I think Alek Manoah been the team stopper this year. He didn't have a great outing in Oakland, but I think he gets a one to bounce back today because he has to match zeros with Robbie Ray, who's been really good in his last few starts, finding his Cy Young form from last season. I think this is a 3-2 game, whichever way it ends up going. So give me the under 7.5.
Brian.
Yeah, this is my least favorite set of the board today. The bottom half as far as free picks go. I'm gonna take the Cubs at +1.5. They're 23 and 17 on the run line, and Kershaw at -255 just seems like a super high price. Stroman did get blown up in his rehab start, but I think he shows up today against the Dodgers.
Rod, we all know Brian won't take Kershaw at anything less than -315. What do you like in this spot?
Right? And see, and I'm usually the guy that fades Stroman, but you look Stroman, his numbers on the season, he pitches awful at home, and on the road he's been pitching pretty well. So I know his first start back was a rehab, and he got blown up. But you look after he gets blown up. These are the games that he comes in and he has a little bee in his bonnet, and he wants to pitch really well and get noticed, and that's what makes him his money. He has those really good games that people remember him for. And this is one of those ones. So I went with Brian. Give me the Cubs plus the 1.5. I think this is a 1-run game all day. I also like the under. I think Stroman comes in, pitches solid. And so we know what Kershaw's going to do. So I like the under in that one. And the other one, I agree with Chris. Give me the under in Toronto and Seattle. Manoah's pitching lights out all season. And Robbie Ray's definitely he started off the year awful, but his last few starts, he's turning around and looking like he did last year. And then to face his old team, even give him more motivation here. I like the Mariners as well. Mariners under in like a 3-2 game in that one. And then the Padres, I'll take the Padres to beat the Giants. Padres 21-7 their last 28 when their opponent allows 5 or plus runs in the previous game. And the Giants 1-9 the last 10 versus a right-hand starter. Giants doing in a nosedive tailspin, 2-8 their last 10. Padres starting to turn it on. Give me the Padres over the Giants in that one.
El Niños.
Yeah, Blue Jays, Mariners should be a great, interesting matchup. A couple of interesting pitching matchups on this slot actually. But looking at this one, as Rod said, Robbie Ray going up against his old team, he should be putting up a good game. But again, he's going up against a good lineup here in Manoah. As good as the Mariners have been, Manoah coming off a rough start against the A's, but I still think this is a lineup he can handle. So I think he bounces back, and I like the Blue Jays to bounce back. I'll take the Blue Jays on the money line and slightly into the under as well.
Jovan?
Yeah, and I'm gonna take the Dodgers. I'm gonna take them on -2.5. You know, one of the things that the Dodgers don't do is give Kershaw run support, but I think in this one, I think it sets up for them to, have like a 6-2 game where they give Kershaw all the run support that he needs. Stroman, coming back off the IL, I don't see him having a good start. So, yeah, I think that the Dodgers win and win big.
I'm not a big Stroman guy either, and I'll tell you, Toronto Blue Jays, the wheels are off the cart there in Toronto too. 3-7 on the season. It's kind of them and the Phillies have kind of traded places, and the Blue Jays another team that have some serious decisions to make because they did go out and spend the money trying to shore up the pitching staff. They did go out and do all of these things. They did go out and get players, hitters, and none of those guys are coming through. None of them. Gausman sucks. Barrios sucks. Springer, you suck. It's like in Jays, they are sucking. I could see the Orioles passing them in the standings, and the Jays kind of looking like the Padres did last year, just looking for answers, because it's amazing to me that you would want Kevin Gausman back in the American League after we saw how miserable he was in the American League for most of his career, and then he goes to the National League where he's super effective in San Francisco, and maybe they should trade Gausman for Rodon to the Giants. Maybe that would be probably the answer for them. But you have to think that with the trade deadline coming, Chris, who do you think gets traded to who?
I think Jose Quintana goes to the Yankees, and I think.
And who do the Pirates get back? Half the farm system. Is Quintana? The going rate for Quintana is Eloy Jimenez and Dylan Cease.
I think they'll give up. They'll give up a couple prospects, but I honestly see Luis Castillo ending up in Toronto. I think they go out for another starter try to fill in the void left by Ryu, and I think they try to go out and get a couple of bullpen arms, but nothing substantial.
Brian, any trades that you see on the horizon here?
No, I was thinking Luis Castillo for my team, the Phillies here. I think the Phillies are definitely move, but we'll see what happens. I think they really need bullpen help, and they could use another starting pitcher.
Rod, you see any trades out there?
Yeah, just like Chris said, the Jays need a starter. They need somebody. They need some pitching help, and I think they go get it. We know that they don't mind spending the money, so I think the Jays are going to spend before the deadline, and they're going to pick up some pitching arm. They need some pitching help, and that's their problem. You can't bash and win games by scoring 20 every game, and you can see it that their bats are good, but it struggles when you come back and you battle back and you get a lead, and then all of a sudden your pitchers just blow it for you. It's like they're deflated. You can see it. They're just like not like they were before. So I think that's where we see. I think Toronto makes a move.
El Niños? See any trades?
Yeah, again, not huge on these trade speculations. I'd rather react to them after they happen. But some starters, Blue Jays, Red Sox. But yeah, I couldn't tell you who goes where. Sorry.
Jovan, any trade speculation for you?
I mean, top no, not well. I think this year there's no real frontline pitching that's going to be available, so that's that sucks. But a lot of teams need pitching, so you're going to get some of these middle of the road guys being traded on, whether it's a Quintana out of Pittsburgh or Castillo, who has some good stuff. I would say I don't know where. I just figured Castillo's going to go somewhere. Not the Red Sox, though. I know he's not going there. Not with the way Hein Bloom runs, that operation.
So here's a couple that I'm going to throw out there for you guys, and don't shoot the messenger. Chad Kuhl to either the Dodgers or the Yankees. I'm going to go with. I'm going to also go with Savale to the Yankees. I think that he's a good fit there. He's the type of guy that they generally go after. If the Guardians will even trade him there. If not, he goes to the Dodgers. But I think that those are guys like with high ceiling guys that generally around the trade deadline, a lot of buzz around guys like that, who are kind of like they're expendable and they seem to have a high ceiling. And I think the Mets also have a few guys that they'll be able to deal in that if they really want to go out and get a big bat. And I think the bat that they're going to go after is Mike Trout, and I think they're going to offer Walker, Bassett, maybe a couple of these other guys. I think they're going to aggressively go after Mike Trout. Just throwing it out there. I think that they're a team that could seriously pay him, and they're a team where he seriously fits. So, and they could offer up what it would take to get a guy like that.
Well, it's hard for me to see Trout going anywhere. I don't know. I think he's a angel for
$35 million a year plus for a 38 and 47 record. It's very, very tough to justify that, And if you can get a guy that can bring you in, 4 pitchers, 6 or 7 minor leaguers, that the Mets have the team to win today, right? DeGrom and Scherzer going at it in the 1-2, in a 4-game series. You throw Mike Trout with Lindor, all of a sudden it's like, wow, you got a team that can compete with the Yankees and the Astros.
Yeah,
I mean, you throw out DeGrom there against Verlander. I mean, what kind of game 1 is that going to be? That's going to be off the chain. That'll be one of the best pitching matchups, to start a World Series in history. You throw Mike Trout, any player is going to want to be part of that. I don't know. I'm throwing it out there. It's a reach. I know that, but I think that it's definitely in the mix this year. I don't see Ohtani being tradable, but I see Mike Trout definitely being tradable.
Also, Syndergaard on the Angels. I think he's tradable too.
I don't know if anyone wants him.
But nobody wants him, right?
I don't think he's got the high ceiling that some of these other guys have.
No.
The trade value isn't there after this season, that's for sure.
Nope. But someone can pick him up cheap.
How about the second baseman on the Mariners? What's his name again? Crawford?
He's a shortstop.
Shortstop. I think he's a guy that I would go after if I was. I don't know if he's tradable, but I think he's a guy I would go after for sure. Anyways, always fun to speculate. You could always start the rumor, and of course, I think Quintana is the gimme, of the bunch. It's just a matter of where.
Castillo, Montas also, but yeah, there's a few.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Montas also. Montas to the Twins.
Montas somewhere out of Oakland would be good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
I would say Caprillion too. He's pitched well enough.
Brian Reynolds
And
anywhere?
Blackburn.
Blackburn.
Let's just start some trade rumors like we know something. Montas to the White Sox doesn't make sense. I think it's going to be Mike Trout. The shocker. To the Mets. It actually almost makes sense, right? That's the way you think about it. It almost makes sense, right?
I'm sure they could get a whole bunch for him, but I don't know if they do it though. It's just, I don't know.
I think if you're offered enough, yeah, you're willing to fire Joe Madden. You're willing to pretty much do anything, at that point. You got, not really afraid of anything. Anyways, Chris Ruffalo, what's your parlay today?
My parlay is going to be the under 8.5 Tigers White Sox, the New York Yankees on the money line, and the Pittsburgh Pirates plus 1.5.
Brian?
Baltimore Orioles on the money line, Detroit Tigers plus 1.5, and the Phillies Cardinals over 8.5.
Rod?
And for me, I'm going to take the over in the Tigers White Sox game. Take the Mets on the money line, Padres on the money line, Mariners on the money line. Parlay those 4 up. 14er today.
Al Ninos.
Guardians, Mets, and if you really want to throw the Astros in there, go ahead.
Jovan.
Tigers, Rays, Dodgers, alternate run line 2.5.
I'm going to go with the Yankees. Throw in the Astros minus 3.5, and I'll take the Milwaukee Brewers minus 2.5. Why not? And the over in the Mets Marlins. Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you. Next Saturday, we'll actually be back tomorrow. So, wow. It is hosting the drive-thru yesterday threw me off. It's not as easy as it
good,
looks. Not as easy as it looks.
Nope.
Anyways, thanks everyone for joining us. Make it a winning day. We appreciate each and every one of you.